Hi, I'm Dave Dinkle, and today's Deal Talk is real-life examples of doing deals with no money, no credit, and no risk to the investor. We're going to look at net profits of $35,525.22 and $52,032.33. Okay, this is the top half for the A to B HUD. Purchase price is $565,000. Now remember, the student has no money, so we have to complete this purchase and make the profit for the student. This is page 2 expenses for that price property. That's normal. People ask me how much should I expect for closing costs. They should be about 1 or 2% maximum. This is the bottom half of the HUD. The student had to put up a $13,000 earnest money deposit with the seller's listing agent. Typically try and put up one deposit and use it a number of times. In this case, they had to put up a $13,000 deposit. So ultimately, the amount of money needed to close for the A to B side, $550,279.44. To the seller, because there was loan payoffs, they netted $142,000 and change. So here's the B to C HUD, the top half. Sale price is $615,000. Remember, these are cash buyers. They're not conventional financing people, VA, FHA, or anything else. Straight cash buyers. There's the expenses from HUD 2. The left side of the HUD statement is for the buyer, and the right side is for the seller. We are now the seller in this transaction. A to B side, we were the buyer. The second page of the HUD. Now what's interesting here is the end buyer put up a $150,000 earnest money deposit. In the event he didn't close, that's what he had at risk, whereas we had a $13,000 deposit on the A to B side. There's the transactional funding number. Now, this is the net profit, and what I want you to see is it's $40,525.22. Plus, I'm going to show you an $8,000 additional profit on the second page. But remember, a $13,000 earnest money deposit, that needs to be deducted from this number because they're getting back all of the money they invested plus the profit. They invested $13,000. Now, if you're saying to me, well, that's not a no-money deal, it wasn't their $13,000. They borrowed that money, so it is a no-money deal. So the profit on this particular deal was $35,525.22, no money in the deal. Now, here's what I wanted to show you on page 2. This is called a JV fee. Here it is, JV fee or joint venture fee, $8,000, and it was paid to one of the partners on the A to B side. So the profit you saw on the A to B side was $40,525 plus the $8,000 on the second page I just showed to you, less the $13,000, again $35,000, no money in the deal. Property number 2. Again, the A to B HUD top half. Buyer paid $105,000 for the property. Normal settlement charges here. A little bit on the high side, but it doesn't matter. It's still a controllable amount. This is the buyer side, and on the seller side, if you notice, there's no fees whatsoever. So what this investor said is, I will pay your closing costs. No closing costs shown on the seller side. This is the bottom half of the HUD. This is the funding needed. So the investor called me up and said, I need $105,867.77. I said, super. In this case, the investor put up a $100 earnest money deposit. As so often happens, this particular investor didn't even put the $100 up. So I actually funded it at closing by sending in 2 wires, one for the $105 and one for the $100. I didn't send in one for the $105,000 plus the $101 wire fee because to keep the records of the closing agent straight, I needed that extra $100 separate. This is the top half of the B to C HUD. Sale price is $158,000. Bottom half of the HUD, we said so many times before, this is where the profit is shown, called the money shot. That profit, $52,032.33. There's the transactional funding, including the earnest money deposit that I mentioned to you. So there you have it. 2 deals, no money, significant profits. It can be done. It's done on a daily basis everywhere across the United States. One other thing, this particular end buyer put up a $2,500 earnest money deposit outside of closing, and at closing he was refunded it outside of the HUD. Nothing wrong with that, just the way they did it in this case. So why not you?